I have never seen North Shore, South Shore in the metropolitan areas of Covington, Mandeville, and Madisonville, and the metropolitan area of New Orleans, both under catastrophic tornado warnings. Just unprecedented situation going on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we have a definite hook signature developing here. So right now I would say if the tornado is not on the ground, it's going to be on the ground at just about any time. Bruce, I'm going to go over to you. I'm going to do a couple things here on Viper with it to help you along.
All right, let's come back to me here. And again, what we're looking at is now we're starting to see rotation, and we're starting to see kind of a southwestward flank. So whenever you start seeing kind of winds and rain peeling off the main feature, that indicates a rotation going on.
Guys, come back over here. We need to come back now. We're getting a tornado debris signature in New Orleans East. This is a tornado emergency. It looks like the radar is confirming damage on the ground. We have damaging hail being reported. Anybody in New Orleans east of Pontchartrain Park and the Lakefront Airport, running all of Chef up I-10 to the Venetian Isles, you need to be inside and away from windows. You need to be on the lowest floor of your house. You need to put as many walls between you and the outside of your house as you can.
We are here in New Orleans East near Bullard and Chef Mentor. I'm going to take a look behind me here. This is from what we've been told by witnesses out here, the track of the storm. You see a widespread area of damage here.
Now I'm getting a good look at what the damage is done here. This is a big-time destructive tornado. Looking at the kind of damage that I'm seeing, looking at some of the way the buildings are damaged, I don't like to say what I think they are in the air until we really get on the ground and inspect it, but this was at least an EF2 tornado.
An EF2 tornado, you might have heard David talk a little bit earlier, 110 miles per hour. You were in your RV, man. Thank you so much for talking to us, and just an unbelievable situation that you survived. I'm sure you're still coming to grips with this.
Yeah, we're trying to find a place to stay now because we lost everything.
This was so sudden. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. People got outside and just got thrown to the ground and couldn't move. And we were just like glued to the couch and couldn't move. Our RV was off the ground and slamming down. Then the windshield was gone.
Look at the hail. 3 inches or greater on the hail threats, and most of the tornadoes all morning and early afternoon long have been up to 3 inch in diameter.
And looking at these pictures, again, this is a strong tornado. Definitely an EF2. It could be even stronger than that, but judging by that, and again, that means winds greater than 110 miles per hour, potentially as high as 130, 140 miles per hour.
Yeah, they would be more concentrated, obviously, than a hurricane, but you would be talking about, if you're in that house or in that subdivision, you're talking about living through the effects of a Category 3 storm.
Liz, take a look at the damage here. Look at this house. The woman who lives here tells us she was inside, she was watching the news, she saw the warnings. She and her son heard what sounded like a train. They hit the floor. The next thing she knew, the roof is gone, the windows are blown out. Look at the damage. It's just unspeakable. And as you look down the block here on Bundy, almost every house looks like this. Parts of the roofs are gone, the entire roof is gone, power lines are in yards, trees are everywhere. This woman's car, the windows are blown out of the car is totaled. It's unbelievable. The good news here, this family made it out okay. They were not damaged. In fact, I see the homeowner here, Yvette. Yvette, tell us, how did you survive this?
By the grace of God.
Let's go to the very latest now, including the latest in a string of very unusual tornadoes, the one in St. John Parish in the Laplace area that David was mentioning. Here's a confirmed tornado in Orleans at a Waffle House that was shot earlier today. Tornado damage confirmed near Chef and Crowder. There is damage in the Michoud area. A confirmed tornado upriver near the Sunshine Bridge. A tornado that witnesses saw a number of them in the Madisonville area, and at least one waterspout on Lake Pontchartrain this afternoon in about the last 45 minutes. A very unusual day with a number of tornadoes, and a couple of them, it seems, causing damage. That is a quite powerful tornado, Liz, by South Louisiana standards.
Yeah, if you take a closer look there, you can see the formation of it, and this is just massive, the sort of thing you would see in a movie, but it's happening here right in our backyard.
10,000 people, at least at the height of this, were without electricity. 10,000 customers in Orleans and in Jefferson Parish, and you have marveled at times, David, about this. We just do not get tornadoes in South Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean,
this is
taking my breath away every time I see this, because that that's a bad tornado. And we know it now by the damage that we're seeing out there in the east. I mean, we have 12 being reported injured. I hope it's not more than that. I mean, that number has not changed. And if we can get out of this without any fatalities, we are going to be really, really lucky.
Well, and it may very well, and this, by the way, is new video, and I thought at first, you can see, this gets shot from different angles, so this is some new video where the viewer has sent in to us. There's a gentleman who posted on Instagram, his name is I Am Kino Beats. It's his video that he posted, and he was quite a bit closer. Consider this is with a cell phone video, so he is right there as this thing rolls through. And David Bernard, I mean, there you see the debris flying in the air and the power of this thing.
Incredible. As we were saying earlier, just by the damage I'm witnessing and by this video, this was obviously a strong tornado, likely at least of EF2 category. We may find EF3 damage, John.
Again, I point out, this is with a cell phone video, so this is more than likely a fairly wide angle. And you see the debris field.
That looks like a vehicle just moving across the screen. I don't know if you could see that just now, or something as big as a vehicle. We'll see that here.
It appears that this person was paralleling. You see those flashes? Those are the transformers blowing that we talked about earlier. If we can get out of this without a loss of life, it's a miracle, because this is the real deal. This is probably going to be one of the stronger tornadoes on record for the city of New Orleans.
And you can't imagine what these people, what must have been going through their minds as they're on Chef Highway turning into some of these parking lots. And John, see that big structure? It looks like some type of vehicle just
moving.
Something
sliding along, right?
Yeah. I mean, it looks as big as a vehicle or like a dumpster or something.
This house had collapsed on itself when the storm came through. Fortunately, the woman who owns the house was not in the house at the time when it collapsed, and we're told that no one was in the house when it collapsed. But you can kind of see there is some sort of vehicle underneath all that debris.
Now, this is a live video from a helicopter that is touring. We believe this is the New Orleans East area. Governor John Bel Edwards on his way to New Orleans East to speak at a news conference in a little less than 20 minutes from now.
You can see the destruction, how this house is totally sheared off to the fact that it's leaning. And the homeowner says she doesn't know right now where she's going to go. She was at work when she found out that her home was pretty much destroyed. And this house that you're looking at here that's leveled, neighbors tell me that this house was actually under renovation. The homeowners were repairing the inside of the house, and now they're left with this. This whole street, Bundy Road, is just really a disaster. From here on down, you have dozens of homes that are destroyed, or if not destroyed, really badly damaged. You see power lines lying in the street and in the neutral ground here, which is very dangerous. And fire officials told me that they had to actually shut off the gas to a lot of these houses. When we first came here, the smell of gas was permeating the air because it was so thick. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I've lived through earthquakes. I've lived through Betsy and Katrina. It wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. I was sitting at work, and a voice just told me go home. I didn't know what was going on, and something told me go home, and I cranked up my car and headed this way.
You're taking a live look right now at Governor John Bel Edwards. He is meeting with some of the officials of New Orleans, Mayor Mitch Landrieu, and we're going to be hearing from him any minute now.
I want to show you the extent of damage here in this neighborhood. This is just one street in this neighborhood. It's street after street in this area, and the homes look like this. You can see completely destroyed in some cases, rooftops ripped off, belongings from inside of these homes outside on the front yard, tree limbs all over the place. I mean, this neighborhood is really just a mess, and so many of these people coming home today, hearing about the damage, and then coming and seeing it firsthand, just in shock, a lot of these folks. I want to bring in, this is Keenan, he lives here in this neighborhood, and just kind of tell me what you guys are going through right now, and really just the shock and awe of seeing what's happened here.
Well, it's heartbreaking to come home from work, then you couldn't even get in the neighborhood, but to see this, it's like Katrina all over again minus the water. I mean, it's just devastating, it's heartbreaking. We had to rebuild once before, now we have to rebuild our lives again. I mean, you pretty much lost everything once, and now we lost again. So it's very disheartening. It's very hurtful. It's just, how do you prepare for that? Where do you start? This house here was completely standing up this morning when I left for work this morning, and it's completely gone. The house behind it, the whole second floor is gone, the second story is gone. I mean, this is just total devastation, and some people just not equipped to go through this again. It's just, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. As you pointed out, this neighborhood in particular went through so much during Hurricane Katrina. You pointed out the house in the back. We can see that's the second story of that home. There was a woman actually up there just a few minutes ago sifting through her belongings just to see what they can save. We saw firefighters coming through this neighborhood a little while ago asking if everyone was okay, checking on folks in this neighborhood. And people are just walking from street to street, documenting the damage on their cell phones. It's just, I think a lot of people in shock. I heard a man earlier say, hey, we can prepare for a hurricane, we evacuate, but for a tornado, this is different.
I want to show you just how powerful this storm was today. Take a look at this. This truck is flipped on its side. And when you walk down Mark Drive in New Orleans East, you will see debris everywhere. This is a power pole split in half. Road barriers have been tossed around. Debris is in the trees, in the fence. You will see trees split in half and covering the street all over the place. And then take a look at this. You will see power lines covering this street as far as the eye can see. And when you look at this damage, it is hard to believe your eyes. Home after home has been badly damaged, if not destroyed. Roofs have been ripped off. Some homes appear as though they have collapsed. And it's not just this street. There's about 10 blocks in this neighborhood that look just like this. And when you consider this damage, when you see just how bad it is, think about this. Right across the street, walk with me here for a second. I want to show you something else. Right across the street here, this is a school. This is an elementary school. The good news here today is we are told that everybody here at Schaumburg Elementary School today is safe. No one was hurt. We are told that students, teachers, and faculty sheltered in place as that storm moved in, and that is a good thing. They sheltered in place in the hallway because we are told that the cafeteria is badly damaged as well as a classroom.
Take a look at this. The tornado outbreak injured at least a couple dozen people. Mayor Mitch Landrieu saying some of those injuries are more than minor, a handful of those injuries. We have no reports of fatalities, which is pretty amazing when you think about the destruction out there. And more than 10,000 Entergy customers do not have power.
New Orleans East took hits from today's outbreak hardest. Emergency crews are going door to door tonight in the area of Chef-Mentor Highway to ensure everyone is safe. The East may have suffered the most damage, but you'll find destruction on both sides of the lake. On the North Shore, severe weather was bad enough to move at least one home off its foundation.
This was a completely separate tornado than the one that hit in Hammond or the one that hit in New Orleans East. This one struck, we guess, about 20 minutes earlier, and it was extremely powerful. As you can see, this home behind me completely knocked off of its foundation, actually lifted up in the air, lifted off 10-foot tall cinder block pilings, and then shifted about 30 feet to the east.
This really gives you a good idea of how powerful this storm was. Some concrete just completely through one of those HVAC units, destroying it. It really shows you how powerful this storm is if it can lift concrete up that high and just pummel it through that large unit. Now, if we'll pan over to your left here, you can see the NASA's Michoud Assembly Facility here, that large building there with the iconic NASA logo. The building has holes in it.
We saw it coming. It came from that way and came right forward. All we could do was hide under the desk and hold on to each other.
Rare and powerful twisters.
That's when everything just hit. And I mean, it's just like a bomb hit, and we just stood down. We had debris all over us. Oh my God.
Shake southeast Louisiana to its core.
I heard a lot of wind blowing. I heard the windows pane knocking out. And I told my wife, get down, get out the way.
From New Orleans East to Jefferson and the North Shore.
Today we had a tough day across our state. In at least 6 different parishes, there were 7 confirmed tornadoes that touched down.
Homes, businesses, schools, and even 18-wheelers fail the test of this unexpected force of Mother Nature.
I mean, this is just total devastation, and some people just not equipped to go through this again. It's hard.
I keep trying to tell myself it's just a house, and we'll rebuild, and we will.
Communities once again forced to regroup and start over again. Good evening, I'm Kim Holden.
And I'm Lee Zurich. The threat of severe weather is gone tonight, but the cleanup is just getting started. City and state leaders promise help as people salvage what's left and start rebuilding once again.
Chief Meteorologist David Bernard will have what was behind today's outbreaks and your forecast for the rest of the week in just a few minutes. But first, a woman shares her story of survival as she clung to her newborn.
Yeah, the tornado in New Orleans East ripped the trailer she was in to pieces.
She flew way to piss in the backyard, and
I ended up by that black car right there.
Wow, Amanda Stockfeld says the only thing on her mind was protecting her 8-week-old baby girl. Rob Krieger has the story.
It was a normal day for Amanda Stockfeld, who works at this impound lot, now damaged and destroyed. Normal outside of the fact that because of a doctor's appointment, she had her 2-month-old daughter with her at work. And then in an instant, their lives were turned upside down.
I heard the sound of a freight train, and I was holding her. All I could think of was putting her back in her car seat. So I put her in her car seat, I buckled her up, I put her underneath my work desk. I crawled underneath there with her. I locked my arm around the handle of her car seat.
Within moments, as Stockfeld huddled under her desk with her daughter and another coworker, her worst fear unfolded with unyielding fury.
We heard the trailer coming apart, and then we flipped over backwards. And then it's like the trailer exploded, and me and the baby went flying through the air. And I saw the sky, the inside of the vortex. I saw her in her car seat above my head, and then we hit the ground.
As the young mother flew through the air, she gripped tightly to her newborn as Mother Nature devoured steel and tore through buildings, tossing her relentlessly. She had one thing on her mind.
Don't let go. Just don't let go. That's all I could think about, was don't let go. I couldn't think of anything else, because I knew if I let go, I wouldn't have been able to find her. And I just thought, I didn't know if she was dead. I didn't know if she was hurt. I didn't care about me. I didn't even feel my injuries until hours later. I was just worried about her, that's it.
Moments after the tornado passed, Stockfeld was captured on this Facebook Live, still in shock.
And I ended up by that black car right there. Her car seat's still right there. I had her buckled into her car seat.
And I have to say, shout out to Graco. Graco makes the best car seats in the world, because without her being in that car seat, I don't know what would have happened to her.
Now, as she takes stock of the place where she works, nearly annihilated, she can breathe easy knowing her little Autumn still has her smile, something she'll never let go.
It's just inconceivable. I couldn't imagine. I mean, I'm thinking my job's gone. You know, the only car we had is gone. But she was okay. I was okay. Everything else can be replaced.
So tonight, Stockfeld and little Autumn are at home, safe and relaxing. Their only problem now, how to replace this Jeep, their only mode of transportation, completely destroyed in the tornado. Reporting in New Orleans East, Rob Krieger, Fox 8 News.
Chef-Mentor Highway still shut down from Dowman Road all the way to Michoud Boulevard. And just looking at the damage left behind by this storm, this snapped power pole that's right here, you can tell how powerful this storm was and how fortunate a lot of people are tonight. Satellite dishes discarded in power lines, roofs peeled off of houses and businesses, and cars badly damaged, some buried under piles of debris and down trees.
Awning fell on the window, and then the next thing I know, the tree fell on my car.
There's a car underneath this tree.
My car is underneath the tree. Right.
How did you get out?
People along the block came and helped me get out.
The tornado's powerful winds snapped power lines and bent metal utility poles throughout New Orleans East. Residents rushed for cover and found debris torn from businesses traveled nearly a quarter of a mile before crashing down in their backyard.
And the shoe store sign is over there in my yard.
What was it like being in that bathtub with your wife as it's coming through?
Well, it's just like being in a bathtub with my wife. Just got to hold on. You know, all I can say is I thank God that we just passed it over. You know, it just went on over us. We lost a few houses in the neighborhood, but still in all, we was blessed.